So today we are making a video on AUSTRUMI Linux 4.9.6. So here is the boot menu. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. So AUSTRUMI Linux is from Latvia, which is a country in Europe. So Latvia, I don't know how it's spelled, but it's based on a Slackware. And also the desktop you get is a FVWM. And I'm going to give you a short description of the AUSTRUMI Linux, which is Austrum Latvia's Linux, its real name, and it is a bootable live Linux distribution, which I already mentioned that it's based on Linux. So it also requires limited system resources, and also it can run on Intel compatible systems with a CD-ROM installed. So the entire operating system and all of the applications can run from RAM. So it's pretty much very fast and allowing the boot medium to be removed after the operating system starts. So I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with i5 1240p CPU and with 8 GB of RAM, and also my virtual disk is 60 GB. So it took just a few seconds to boot up the desktop layout. So it's like a minute or minute and 12 seconds like that. It consumed very little much of time to boot up. So here is the desktop layout we are seeing. And also, if you ask me about the system requirements, which I already mentioned, but I'm going to say it clearly. So it's compatible on the Intel Pentium 2 processor or later, and at least you need to have like a 512 MB of RAM. And also from installation you can burn the ISO file to a CD-ROM or USB drive. Then choose the run AUSTRUMI Linux by first loading in and the host computer's memory. So you can boot up in the live boot. You don't need much of RAM. Even if you have like a 512 MB of RAM, you can run this Linux distro. So here is the application menu. So let's try to change the display settings. So you don't get any available resolutions here, you just get this resolutions. So I'm going to keep it like this. I'm not going to change anything here. So there is a different language here. So it's from the Latvia, which is a country in Europe, which I already mentioned in the beginning. So let's close it. So right now there isn't any release notes or anything like that. So we need to find everything on our own, and we need to check the applications pre-installed and decide what are the changes on our own. So if I find any release notes, I'm going to provide in the description, or else I'm just going to keep the description empty. So let's try to see what else we get in this Linux distro. In the games you get all those games like a Sudoku and Litrace. I don't know what it is, but I know the Sudoku, and it's kind of chess game, and also it's like a programs, I guess. So it's these are all the applications you get, and I think this is a multimedia. So you get all those things like a CD burn and audio CD and all those things. Under graphics you get the GIMP, the Inkscape, like a document viewers, like a text editor and all those things. So here are some of the preference, I think. Here is the system. So here is the system monitor. I forgot to show you the system monitor in the beginning. So somehow we didn't open any of the applications, so it's okay. So these are all the process going to be running as soon as you boot up. So the booting process didn't take that much of time. It just consumed like a minute and 13 seconds. Like you can exactly say like a minute and 20 seconds like that. So it was pretty quick without any delay. So here is the system resources. It's consuming almost like a 20%, and RAM is almost like a 890 MB. But the website says like it doesn't consume a lot of resources, but it's consuming almost like a 900 MB. And also I'm running it on the live boot on the virtual machine, so it should be a bit less, I think, in the bare metal, but it will be not a major difference. I think it will be like a 200 MB, a maximum will be like a 200-300 MB difference. So you don't see any major difference. Again, if you have like a 512 MB of RAM, I don't think it's going to work properly, but I'm going to recommend you need to have like in order to run a lightweight Linux distro, you need to have at least a 2 GB of RAM to run everything smoothly. But if you have 1 GB of RAM, you need to try it on your own and decide how it performs, because I don't know how it performs on the 1 GB of RAM. By opening a bunch of applications like a 2-3 applications, it's going to consume almost like a 1 GB of RAM, more than 1 GB of RAM. So that's the reason I'm mentioning like that. So let's check the about system monitor. Here is the version. Let's keep the system monitor in the right side corner. So I can't move anything here. Let's make it smaller. So this is the thing you get. So let's open the Firefox web browser. So you don't get any bloatware or anything like that. So you are good with the Linux distro. And also you don't need a good resolution monitor. Even if you have like a low-end PC, it's going to run smoothly. But you need to have at least a 1 GB of RAM to run this Linux distro. The website says like you need to have lesser than 1 GB, but you need to have a 1 GB of RAM at least to run the lightweight Linux distro. 1 GB or 2 GB will be better. So here is the website, official website of the AUSTRUMI Linux. So let's check the version. So this is the latest version. So you get the latest Firefox web browser, which is 129.0. So that's a good thing. So let's close it. So this is the official website. And the version I already mentioned in the beginning, but I'm going to mention it again. The version is 4.9.6, which is the latest version. I think this is the language of the Latvia. I'm going to choose the English. So it's called as Austrum Latvijas Linuxus. I don't know how it's spelled, but I'm going to say AUSTRUMI Linux. So it's a business card size portable live CD Linux distribution. It's based on Slackware, which I already mentioned in the beginning. It was created and is currently being maintained by a group of programmers from Latgale region of Latvia. It requires limited system resources and can run on any Intel compatible systems with a CD-ROM installed. The entire operating system and all the applications can run from RAM, making AUSTRUMI a fast system and allowing the boot medium to be removed after the operating system starts. So it says like this, but it's consuming almost 1.2 GB just by opening the browser. So I don't think I'm going to consider as pretty much lightweight, because the LXQT open box can even run like a 500 MB, 600 MB. If you want, you can check my previous videos. You should be getting all the information, because I covered like a 3000 videos of Linux distros. So I don't say it's a lightweight, because it's consuming 1.2 GB just opening the browser. So most of the Linux distributions which are called like a lightweight Linux distribution will consume like a 500 700 MB of RAM, but it's consuming 1.2 GB. So these are all the resources. So it's clearly up to you to judge whether it's a lightweight or not. So cache is almost a 1.1 GB. So here you can get all the information. So let's open the link. So we need to try to type in like a AUSTRUMI Linux. So before that, let me type in about support to get some description and some browser information. Let's scroll it down. So you get the latest Firefox web version, so that's the good thing. And also you get the latest kernel. So if you have a lightweight, or not the lightweight, the low-end PC, you need to be having you need to try this Linux distro, but you need to have at least a 2 GB or 1 GB of RAM to run this distro. I always recommend to have like a 2 GB of RAM. It's 2024, you need to have like a 2 GB of RAM. And about the Intel processor, which I already mentioned everything in the beginning, so you need to get all those hardware specs and you can run this Linux distribution, or else you can try another Linux distribution. But you get the latest application, which is the browser, and also the latest kernel. So let me show you the latest Linux kernel available right now, which is stable version. Let's type in Linux kernel and hit enter, and let's go to the official website. So the latest version is 6.10.6, which is a stable version. So yesterday it was like a 6.10.5, but as you can see, it's changed to 0.6. And the RC version is running right now is 6.11 RC4. So the stable version is 6.10.6, and also the stable 6.9.12, which is end of life. So long term 6.6. So you get the latest kernel version. That's the only thing you need to worry about it. So you get the 0.3 update difference. So the latest version is 0.6, but you get the 0.3. So that's almost the latest version you are getting right here. And also about the operating system theme, you get the Darkwing Blue at Vita. And also when you scroll it down, you should be also seeing the memory size 7.8 GB, which I already mentioned in the beginning. I'm using a 8 GB of RAM for my virtual machine, and disk space is right now is 3.4 GB available. When you scroll it down, you should be seeing additional information like a picture in picture, which is 1.0.0. So there is some additional information right here. You can just pause the video and read everything, because this is some of the important information. If you consider it as important, you can read it. If it's not, you can just skip this part. So these are all the information you will be getting here. So let me scroll it down, and also you should be seeing some other information like a window protocol. It's X11, and desktop environment, which I already mentioned in the beginning, FVWM is the desktop environment. So here is some description, vendor, Mesa. So you should be seeing all the other information also here. So the display resolution right now we are using is 800 into 600. So my monitor is 1920 into 1080. I want to keep it as default as possible. So these are all the changes, and these are all the things you'll be seeing here. So let's close the browser and let's copy this. I'm not going to type. Let's copy and search for the Linux. Let's paste it. Let's click on Linux. Let's type Linux and click on enter. So the official website should be this one, I guess, because I downloaded it from the DistroWatch. So let's wait and see. So here is the official website. So you need to type in like that. It's better to just type in AUSTRUMI Linux in the search engine instead of typing all those things. And I'm not going to give any links in the description, because I don't want to, which I already mentioned a lot of times, because sometimes some website will be attacked with a malware. So I don't want you to go and just click on my links and get the malware and all those things. I don't want to do that. So that's the reason it's better to you to search in the Google or any search engine. Just type in like a AUSTRUMI Linux and you should be good with the official link. Just find this link and click on the link. And always use like a web, what you call it, like a internet protection of a web browser, like uBlock Origin or any ad blockers or any malware blockers. It's better to use those type of things, because some of the websites should be hacked with the malware. So that's the reason it's going to give you a warning, or it will not allow you to go to the official website. So that's the good thing. You should be having those type of extensions. So these are all the information which you already seen. So you can just download from the official website. Programs, I think I don't know where it's available, the download links. Let's try to find here. So if I downloaded it from these DistroWatch, so we need to find. So these are all the information you get from the official website. Programs, history, forum. So server not found. Let's close it. License. There is nothing available right here. So the ISO files also is not available right here. Home page, nothing. AUSTRUMI Linux. I don't find any download links here. Let's try to find the downloads. Here it is. So I didn't see this thing because there was a scroller here. So when you scroll it right side, you should be seeing the download. Click on the download. So I'm using other VPN, so that's the reason it's not allowing me to download, but you can download it from going to the DistroWatch. Let me show you. So here is the DistroWatch. Click on the DistroWatch. Click on the home page. Under home page, you should be seeing the latest distribution in the left side corner, like here. So this is the link Let's copy the link. Let's try to paste it here. So this is the link, https like this, and click on the download. You should be getting the download of 4.9.6. In order to see some older versions, you can also remove this link and click enter, and you should be seeing all the other versions also. So that's a tip from me. You can choose older versions if you want. If you want, you can go with the latest versions. So right now it's AUSTRUMI 4.9.6. Here is the ISO file, and the ISO file is around like a 426 MB. So it's low in the ISO file. So you can easily download the 500 MB of ISO file, and also it's going to consume a bit less. Not less, but it's consuming like almost 1 GB. So you need to have at least a 2 GB of RAM. It's 2024, you need to have like a 2 GB of RAM in order to run almost every lightweight Linux distros. So in my opinion, it's not a lightweight, because most of the lightweight Linux distros will consume like a 500 to 700 MB, but it's consuming 900 MB without any applications opened. But when you open the applications like a browser and some other application, it's going to be going to 1.2 GB or 1.3 GB. So it's clearly up to you to decide whether it's a lightweight or not, but in my opinion it's not a lightweight. So let's check the applications. So let's close it. So we already saw everything. Let's click on internet. You get some torrent client, some browsers and all those things, what it is. So it's some office suite, and also you get utilities. Let's open the terminal. Let's see the kernel version. We already saw the kernel version, but let's try it. uname-a, uname-r. So you should be getting 6.10.3. INXI compatible command not found. cat:/etc:/issue. Let's try the neofetch. Neofetch will be also not pre-installed. Let's try it once again. So you should be seeing everything command not found. Stop. So here is our stop. Let's close it. Here is the file manager. So I already made a lot of videos on this distribution. So some of the viewers, if you want the latest information or the latest software applications with this, if you want the lightweight Linux distro, it's not a lightweight, but if you consider 1.2 GB as a lightweight, then you can go with this Linux distro with the latest kernel and also with the latest applications like a browser. So you just get the latest browser. I don't know what other changes, but let's find out on our own. So about the screenshot, you can take a screenshot. Here is the configuration of the desktop environment. You can start the conky, as you can hear. Let's find another things. Hotkeys, consoles, configuration. You can configure. Enter password for user root. I don't know the password. Let's try the ROOT. I hope the password is correct. So nothing is happened. So here is the panel. You can customize your panel. So you can change the language. Here you can log out. Here is the screen and also the wallpapers. Let's try to find other wallpapers. I'm going to keep this one. So I changed the wallpaper also. So games, there are some games to play, and these are some of the applications. Let's open the game. Let's see how it performs. So the version you get is right here. It's not pretty much visible for me, but we are going to show all the available things in the game. So I think this is not the latest version, but let's try to find the version of the GIMP. So you get the 2.99.19. I don't know what's the latest version, but you can check it in the official website. Let's also open some things like Inkscape. Let's check the version of the Inkscape. So you get the 6.10.3, uptime is almost 20 minutes. Let's check the version of the Inkscape. So the latest version should be like a 1.3 or something like that. Also there is nothing visible right now. I don't know what version we are using because it's not pretty much visible. Let's close it. Let's quit it. So here is some other information. What else we left here? Some document viewer, which is not important. So I think there is I covered almost everything, I guess, which are important things. Right now there is no release notes about this version, but these are all the changes you see. I showed all the applications. Here is the about LX experience. You can change the theme, and also it's not working. Let's change the widget color to Kobe bird. Here is the black version. Here is the default. Here is the color icon theme. Nothing in the icon theme. Mouse cursor, font. Here is the RGB, other. So these are all the things you see. Let's check other things. So I think we pretty much covered every important thing, I guess. Here is the plank. So you can add like a macOS type theme. GTX, GTK. Here is the matte, transparent. So you can customize according to your wish. If you want the dock here, position, you can change the position. You can alignment, the center and start fill. You can change the icon size also. Here is the behavior. You can hide, auto hide. So these are all the customization things. It's clearly up to you to customize these things. And also what we left is so I think we pretty much covered everything. So I think there is nothing left. Let's check the LibreOffice version, and I'm going to end the video. So these are all the changes you get. So you need to check the older version and check the latest version. You should be seeing the changes. If you're already using the AUSTRUMI Linux, you should be seeing the changes right away. But if it's new for you, so you should be seeing the latest kernel and latest applications like a browser and the LibreOffice. So these are all the changes which we see in our video. So at the end of the video, these are all the resources. 1 GB of RAM, cache is like a 1.2 GB, CPU is around maybe under 20%, and also I'm using a i5 1240p CPU, so I have the latest CPU. So I don't know how it performs on the low-end PC, but you need to try it on your own. If you tried, let me know in the comment section. So these are all the changes which we see in our video. So these are all the processes. So I already mentioned everything in the beginning, from the beginning to the end. So these are all the changes. So I'm going to end the video and also I will be posting another video at after a few hours. So you should be seeing 2 videos daily without missing. So if you consider subscribing, you can subscribe. And I'm going to end the video here. Let's check the logout screen and end the video. So it's going to take a few seconds, I guess. So if you want any information, you can directly go to the official website. I also showed you the downloading process. So if you want any information, you can go to the official website. So there is no much information in the official website about just about the AUSTRUMI Linux. Other than that, there is no release notes or anything. So here are the desktop environments. So it automatically logs you in. So I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. Peace out.